Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John, and this video is going to be what films I've watched in the month of January 2024. Hello, John from the future here. I just wanted to pop on and say I forgot to say on the video, the reason why I've only watched a small handful of films this month, well, in January, is because that me and the Debs have been on a binge watch of this. Now, will I get and tell you about what we've seen and what we think about this? Probably not. I don't want this video to get too timey-wimey. But anyway, I just thought I'd mention it. So, back to the video. So first up is Mike and Dave need wedding dates. Try saying that after 20 pints. Now, this movie, I got this movie for literally £1 in CX. And I watched this and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Now, I'm a big fan of Aubrey Plaza and so is the Debs. And I knew if I'd said to her, because I said to her, let's watch this, she said, no chance. And I said, Aubrey Plaza's in it, mate. She says, I'll give it a shot. And who's in it? Zac Efron. So what it is these two brothers, they are really stupid, the pair of them. And what they've got to do is they've got to go to this, shoot videos for weddings. And every time they shoot videos, that it goes to chaos and it's an absolute nightmare and things blow up and, things get set on fire. So they have told by their parents they have got to be sensible and bring some wedding dates around. So they can't find any wedding dates because no one will give them the time of day. So what they do is they put this advert out to say we need wedding dates to go to Hawaii to have this party, with us. And these two, who are absolutely as stupid as them two, which is great, actually, the four of them are so idiotic. They see this advert and they say, right, if we pretend to be good girls, because they're anything but good girls, we can get a free holiday from these two, and that's where it goes off, and it goes into this realm of like madness. So this movie is just so funny. It's one of those ones. Yes, it's just a kind of just a daft comedy, but me and the Debs will love these type of movies because they really are funny. This guy here, he's in Workaholics, I think. So if you think of Zac Efron from that musical High School thing, he's nothing like that in this movie. Actually, he's a really funny actor, and actually, he's a good actor as well. He's really turned a corner where you think he would just be stuck doing them roles, and he's kind of moved out of that, which is good for him. And he's in this new wrestling thing. I mean, when you see him in here with his top off, the muscles on him, I couldn't believe. Deborah says, what's he all about? And I said, well, I don't know. I'm just looking at his arms are like his tree trunks. His veins on there, his veins on his arms are bigger than my arms. But anyway, so it's just like comedy of misadventures. Now, these two are literally taking the mick out of these two by going with them. They obviously think there's more to be got from them. They're having none of it. And there's some really, really funny bits in here, which I can't really go into in here because they're quite, graphic and that. But honestly, this is it's one of those movies that me and Deborah seem to find every now and again where you put them on and she found it utterly hilarious. And she couldn't believe some of the things that are in this movie, especially this. Without spoilers, what happens is they think it's a great idea to take the girls out on quad bikes. And these are a pair of, meant to be there, given the persona of being quite innocent and chaste, and they're far from it, especially Aubrey Plaza. So what they say is, well, we're going to go on this quad biking thing. So they're trying to be, like show off. So anyway, Aubrey Plaza gets on it and she's really good at it. She does all these like stunts and flies over this stuff and they can't believe it. So he decides, he says, I'm going to do something, I'm going to really get into this. And he hasn't got a clue. So he drives off and he goes into this, it's so funny this, he goes into this jump and he jumps off and he lands on his sister's face. The wheel lands on his sister's face, who's having the wedding. So, how do you think that goes? Because what she's doing, she's trying to look good for the wedding, and she's got this face is such a mess, fat lip and everything, split eyes. So he comes out. Everyone's going, "Oh, there's nothing matter with you. No, you can't see it. You've got a bit of lipstick on there. It's unrecognizable as if you had any damage on it." So he comes out and starts screaming at her. I can't believe what your face. Look at your face. So it's really good, and I can't. It's a movie that you'll find for nothing in CX, but it's so funny. And these are the ones that I like. These unexpectedly funny ones. I saw this first on Sky Movies. Really enjoyed it. Thought the Debs would get into it. It's a bit over the top in places. It says ruder, cruder edition. I don't know if this was different to the Sky Movies one. Actually, there was more stuff in here that I couldn't remember from Sky Movies, especially one scene with these when that yeah, it's just so funny. I mean, the the things that happen to these two, it couldn't go worse for them because they're trying to be on the best behaviour, and it actually goes, worse than anything they planned as wedding planners. So highly, highly recommended. That's Mike and Dave Needs Wedding Dates. So next up, I watched Viva. Now this is spine number 40 in the Shameless collection. So as you know, I got nearly the full collection of my good friend Ken Spahn in here. And I want to thank him once again for doing that, because I knew when I seen all of these, and there was only a few missing, I thought I'm going to try and get them. I need a few more, but not many to get the 50 of the DVDs. This DVD actually is a really good quality. I didn't know what this movie was at all. I saw it in the shelves, but never paid too much notice to it. But this is a movie that's, if you think Russ Meyer, you're halfway there. The premise of this movie is basically, if you've seen a Russ Meyer film, you've seen this movie. It's kind of a weird. It hasn't really got a story. It's more like you're watching it because you think it's like a homage or a kind of skit of Russ Meyer type films. It's set in 1972, and what it is this girl here. She decides to become, her and a friend are bored of their lifestyles. So they want to go. It's kind of really like one of these Russ Meyer films is like that. So they decide to go on this kind of road trip to try and see how they can become certain people. And it's just like their story, and that's it basically. But it's so well done, and the picture quality is so good, and obviously the colours are so bright. It really looks like it's made in 1972. Music as well sounds like 1972, and also I didn't know anything. I didn't know this, but this Anna Biller has actually done a movie called The Love Witch, which I've got up there, and I haven't watched yet, but I really want to watch now because I think she's a really clever filmmaker because of the way she's made this movie look like it's from the 70s. So this movie, obviously, it's full of nudity and all that type of thing. It's don't be expecting anything else, but it's there for a reason, and I think it's done well. And the characters in here, especially the male characters, are the biggest bunch of idiots you can imagine in your life. And yeah, it's just such a throwback to there. And I'm really glad that when Ken Sparnan gave this to me, this collection, I'm really glad that I've started to pick these ones out because I wouldn't have went for this movie, irrespective of that. But I'm so glad I did because this was such a good watch. It's a long movie. It's actually got some songs in it as well. Some songs, the songs in here are crazy, actually quite good. But there's a one where they go to this nudist colony and they're playing this song, and it's crazy. But basically, if you've seen a Russ Meyer film, you've seen this movie, and it's such a ode to them type of movies, which are not really talked about enough. And I would love to see a big box set of Russ Meyer films come out because they are so good, especially the early black and white ones. So that's Viva. So next up on YouTube, I watched Early Doors Live 2018. Now, I'm a huge fan of Early Doors. If you've seen this series, it's so good. It's just basically like the royal family in a pub, and it's got a great cast in here. Now, sadly, a few of these people in here aren't with us anymore. I think the old guy there, and I think this woman here aren't in this show anymore, in this live video that they did in 2018. If I'd known they'd done this, I would have went and saw them because I thought this was them done with this and that was it, and never heard anything more about it. But if they ever do it again, I would love to go and see it. So this series kind of is a full arc of this following this landlord Ken, who is there, and it's about him and his girlfriend basically trying to get together. Now, when I watched this 2018, I thought I'll just stick it on and see what happens. And they have changed a few of the people. It's the same characters, but they've got obviously different actors for it. And these two here, these these aren't in it. They must have moved on to bigger things or different things. And what they said was Ken said, it's a shame about them two. It doesn't really say what happened to them. Oh, I think they get killed somewhere. You know, well in the show. Shame about them getting knocked over or something like that. And it says you couldn't possibly meet anybody like them again. And they've got these other two new characters who come in that are exactly like that to the T. They start talking about like roadworks and all that type of thing. And the girl in here, she's the same type of girl. Anyway, so it's great because it goes into like it's like a new story, and that's the best thing about it because I thought it'd just be a rehash of these. And they've got the policeman in there as well. It's got the same. It's got Craig Cash and this other fella who done the writing in it. It's got the cleaner there as well. Got a different daughter, but it's the daughter characters in that. And yeah, it's a great it's because I put it on to watch 5 minutes of it and I ended up watching the whole 2 hours of it. It's absolutely brilliant. So if you're a fan of early doors, I urge you to go and check that free on YouTube, good quality as well. I think you can get it on DVD, but I think I will get it on DVD because I've got the rest of them. But I watch these a lot, over and over again. Can't get enough of them. And the acting in here and the outtakes on here are some of the best outtakes going. And obviously on the live one, there's some outtakes on there as well, which are incredible. Well, not outtakes, but they do fluff things up on there, and that's some of the funniest bits. I mean, Craig Cash when he gets laughing, he can't stop. Absolutely brilliant. In fact, I'm going to leave down below a link to some outtakes from this when Craig Cash can't stop laughing. They're so funny, they're absolutely amazing. So highly recommended if you like early doors. That's Early Doors Live 2018. So next up, me and the Debs watched Act of Valor. Now I want to say a big shout out to my good friend Michael Hewitt for supplying me with a slipcover. I mistakenly said that Dave Ramsden had given me the slipcover for this, but I apologise to Dave and Michael for saying it wrong because I do know that I probably got these slipcovers round about the same time as I got some from Dave and Michael, so that's how I got them a bit mixed up. But it was definitely Michael. So this movie I got for 50 pence. And I said to Deborah, I says, yeah, I says, let's have a look at this. And she said, you're not going to watch this because you don't like this type of movie. And I says, well, I'm interested in it because in here you get like a lot of real life Navy SEALs doing the action in here. And when you put it on, you think, how can it sort of these people become like actors if they're just like real life soldiers? But it really works. I was quite invested in this. Deborah is right. It's not my type of movie, but for some reason I had a great time with this. It's I think it's for the fact that these people are like real life like that, and you can tell it's like usually the people who are like the front of this, the helm of this thing, when you see them doing all the rifles shooting and when they're doing this like hand to hand combat, they look like a real bunch of hard nuts, and they will be if they're Navy SEALs. And actually, this is a lot more emotional than I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be a bit more of these playing it by numbers and a bit like not good acting, and it would be sort of like over the top. It's not really. It's really grounded, and we had a great time of it. And obviously, the slipcover. That's one of the things I want to get it because I got the slipcover, and I thought I've got to see this movie because the slipcover is so deep. You can't see it on here, but it is. And I want to thank Michael Hewitt once again for giving me the slipcover, which gave me the impetus to actually get this one. So, like I say, for 50 pence, this movie is a really good movie. And the stunt, not really stunts because they're doing it in real life. The things that they do, how they achieve what they do, and they're doing it really how they would have done it. If somebody's going to jump out of a plane, they jump out of the plane. If somebody's shooting all these rounds off these things that would like if you or I were shooting them, would take your shoulders out of joint. These are just people who have been there, seen it, got the t-shirt, the whole lot. So you've got to really take your hat off them for that. So really different film, but for me, but one that we really enjoyed. That's Act of Valor. So last up in what films I've watched for January 2024, with a big shout out to my good friend Ken Sparnan, is Doctor Alien. Well, actually, I'm saying last movie. I watched both movies on here because there's two movies on here. I'll talk about the second movie in a minute. Yeah, I forgot to add that one down. I've actually watched that, so I've watched kind of six movies this month, not five. I just when I saw this one, I thought, right, I need to check this out because I'm in a bit of a linear Quigley um, phase at the minute, and I thought, yeah, she's in this, so I can check this out as well. And funny enough, it's got Troy Donahue in here. No spoilers. He's only in it for 10 seconds, if that. So yeah, so never heard this movie before. And I thought, yeah, I'll give it a shot. It just sounds a bit like a daft, like sort of kids movie, not kids movie, like one of these sort of 80s from 1989, one of these 80s style movies where it's just a bit, the likes of what's it called again? Um, it's up there. It's one Better Off Dead. No, that type of thing. Like Ferris Bueller's Day Off in a fashion, nothing like that, but that type of style with the kids, in college, all that type of thing. And actually, for most of the movie, it's like that. You've got the story as this guy who is a total geek. How many times you heard that in his school, and he goes to this. He's in the chemistry class, and they get a new chemistry teacher who just happens to be an alien. You know, and she's got this sidekick who's a right creep. And what she does is she said to the class, would anyone like to stay behind and do some extra stuff with me? And they all put their hands up, yes, miss, I would. So anyway, she picks this guy, who I don't know if there's a picture of him here. I think that's him there. Dead straight-laced, dead, like he's always doing the right thing. So she gives him this stuff, this portion. She says, I would like you to try this stuff out. And he says, yeah. So he tried it out and it turned him into this kind of, it's hard to explain. It turns him overnight into someone who's a bit more like cool. And but what he does is when he takes this stuff, this, a bit like, if you think of brain damage, this thing grows out of his head. No pictures of it on here. And as soon as he gets that, all the women go crazy for him. And he can't believe it. So he has to go back and get this stuff off her, but he doesn't like it. So he has to say to her, look, I'm not, this, you're definitely putting someone in this stuff. And he says, no, they're not. But they keep injecting her and this henchman. Because what they want to do is, I think the story is, I'm not really going to give any the games away about this. I think the story is that something's happened with their planet, so they're coming down to here to get some kind of mail to take back to the planet, something like that. It's really stupid, but stupid in a good way. It's one of those really entertaining 80s movies, a bit like, that Better Off Dead and that type of ilk, when you just like the characters. The characters in here are really fun, and there's a band in here. He gets put into this band, and when he's in this band, and these girls become like they go into a band. The name of their band is Unreal. I can't say it on here because it'll definitely get raised eyebrows with YouTube. But the fact that this whole thing exists because of this stupid thing about this fella with this thing in his head is quite crazy, but really watchable. Now, also on here is a movie from I'm going to say, is it 1978, called Auditions. Now, I'll put that on. Linnea Quigley is on that in that movie as well. I mean, from 1978, I think it's one of her first ever movies. And when you put it on, I thought, what on earth is all this about? I mean, well, what it turns out to be, is they're making auditions for this movie. The second part of this movie, this one's called Adult Fairy Tales Director's Cut. This is released by 88. Went to the cinema to see this. Can you believe it? I can't believe they let us in to see this, but it just shows you to let anybody in the Whitby Bay Playhouse to see anything. So this, they were going to make auditions for the sequel to that one, Adult Fairy Tales 2. I don't even know if that ever got. I've never heard it or seen it at all. And they were doing that. They got these people in, and there's some real weirdos coming to this session. I mean, it's not as if it's like ultra real. They obviously know they're in a film. It's a film about the auditions, but the things they've got them doing for this auditions is unreal. And the people that get in here and they say, what are you going to do? And they do these things, and you just can't believe that people exist like that. Wow, it's an oddity, I'll say that. I did watch it, I did enjoy it. It's not a movie I would think that I would recommend to anybody. But if you ever get this disc, do think that this movie is a great movie. And do check that Auditions out, because it's a really strange movie. I've never seen anything like it, actually. And the interesting thing is, did they ever make a sequel of this? Because I never heard of it. This movie is quite good, actually. It's not that bad. And I think they're the ones that did the same, and they did Cinderella as well, with that one as well. So that was on a double bill at Will It Be a Playoffs, can you believe it? And I got let in for it. Nuts, eh? So anyway, so that's, I don't know if I say what's my most recommended movie of the month. I'd probably say Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates, because it's one we had the best laugh at. But I really had a good time with this, surprisingly so. I thought it would be good, but it was really good. It just, in my humor, in my loving for crazy sort of offbeat movies, ultra cheap and ultra cheesy. So, thanks for watching. You take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.